Hey there, it's Trisha, and I'm going to go over the trades for today, March 18th, Wednesday, and I used two trade setups off a longer tick chart, off a smaller tick chart, requiring confirmation on three charts with indicators before we ever take entry. So you can check those out at www.easyemintrade.com. The first trade that was setting up was at 948.46, and we have indicator going down, price going higher. We have a short setting up. Here's our first blue dot. We hit a market order to enter at 768.25. Now, I have this in red because I did not take this. And if you look at our longer tick chart, I'm going to point that out to you. We have not closed below that our white moving average. So again, that's something that you'll have to decide for yourself. Plus, we also are very close to this other moving average right below us. So realistically, the most that you're going to get in this instance is going to be from your entry to this other moving average, which is exactly what happened. So I'm pointing this out just so you can see that the setup did occur, and if you wanted to take it, that would definitely be discretionary on your end. But again, hadn't closed below that moving average yet, so I do want to point it out regardless. So anyway, if you would have got in at 768.25 or thereabouts, you would have got your +2, and then you would have trail stopped out. You would have set your stop about a quarter point above this area here. You would have got stopped out over here for plus 0.75. So you would have had +2 and plus 0.75 depending on how many contracts you're trading and how you're choosing to exit. Also want to point out, a couple people have asked about the MACD. You can certainly jump in a trade when you see it crossing under itself for a short and over itself for a long. That is totally up to you. I would suggest looking back at many charts to see how often it worked. Maybe if you wanted to time that with our scalp indicator firing off, that would be something probably a little bit more apt to succeed. But again, that's up to you. I don't trade that way, but you can certainly do that. So anyway, these are just things that I do, and you can certainly custom tailor them to fit your own personality and your own style. This is a trade that I took at 10:07:02. This was the bar that it was setting up on. I decided to take it. We were closed the previous bar before on under our one moving average, and when this entry actually took place, this bar was almost complete, so I felt confident that it was going to close below both moving averages. So we have price going higher, indicator going slightly lower, so that's divergence. We get our short firing off. This is our first blue dot, hit a market order, get filled at 766.50, and our trend indicator is above 20, and this again is on a 2-minute chart. It's just that I'm not showing the whole chart just so I can try and squeeze everything on here for you all to see in one screenshot. So that still is our 2-minute chart. It's just you're not able to see. Somebody had asked me, they thought that it was on our tick chart, but it's not. It's just showing at the bottom of my screen. So anyway, you would have got your +2, and then trail stopped out for +1 at 765.50. So you would have got your +2 and +1. Again, depends on how many contracts you're trading. But that was a good setup, and hopefully you saw that as it was occurring. So this one here was not setting up because we are not coming from divergence. So because we're not coming from divergence, we don't want to already be in oversold, so we pass on that. We are not going long yet because technically we are still, in this area here, not really knowing what is going to happen. We're right around both moving averages, so we just kind of have to be patient and see what happens. Of course, if you choose to do something different, that's totally up to you. I'm just pointing out what's going through my mind as these trades setups are occurring. This one is one that I did not take, and I want to point it out. This was a scalp long that was setting up at 1143.47. This is the bar that it's setting up on. Now, this bar is not closed yet above both moving averages, but still, it would be your discretion whether you wanted to take it or not. But what would hold me out is that our trend indicator is not over 20. Let's see where we're at here. We're right here. We're actually just crossing below 20. So, I pass on that. But I want to point it out regardless, because it was something, if it fits in your plan, you can take, but it's not according to my plan. We're not over 20, so I pass. And then also, still anybody's guess what's going to happen right here on the bar that it's setting up on. Same thing here. It's already overbought, so I pass. It's not coming from divergence. So again, I don't mind taking something if it's overbought or oversold, but it has to be coming from divergence. If it's not coming from divergence, then I don't want to already see it in those oversold and overbought territories. Now, obviously, hopefully you all remember to check your calendar to see that the 2:15, the FOMC meeting was occurring, and as you know, I don't trade in the afternoon on those days until things quiet down if something sets up well after the announcement. So this is at 12:57, and I'm going to point this out. This is on this bar here, definitely too close to the announcement for me to take a trade, but this is the bar that it's setting up on, and it's not closed yet. So the bar is not closed, and also our tick is at an extreme of 12:15. So that is too high, in my opinion, for me to take a trade, because realistically you're going to be getting a pullback. So the best way to play that would be to wait for the pullback and then watch for a setup. So that would be the way to play that trade. If you took it, it would have worked out, but you would have had to sit through all this here. You wouldn't have gotten stopped out if you used your 2-point stop, but still, that would have been a lot to sit through. And it really, because of the time of day with the announcement going to happen at 2:15, it really can go either way. And I'm sure that you've noticed that. You would have got to the high from yesterday, and then you would have got your pullback. So that's okay. It would have worked, but I'm just pointing out why I pass. As you know, I'm conservative, so you may choose to enter something without everything being in alignment, but that's not what I'm going to do. So this is about the time of the announcement, 2:15 Eastern time. So you can see the bars just get a little bit crazy at that time. So really, best to just sit on your hands till things quiet down, because just as easily as it's going up, it could just as easily come down. You really don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, you can see this huge tail on this bar. Let's see, how big is that bar? It's like 4.75 is the size of that bar there. This one here is like 5.75. So, that's why you sit on your hands during those announcements, because you really don't know what's going to happen. This is setting up here, and actually you could have taken this, but again, it is just way too close to the just the meeting and announcement just being over. So I would pass on that. You do have divergence. You have indicator moving higher, price going sideways. You get your long setting up here, and let's see, I believe everything else is in alignment. So this is actually the bar that it's setting up on over here on our longer tick chart. But, too risky for me. I wait a little bit longer and see if something sets up. As you can see, you've got these huge tails here, and looking at the bars over here, I mean, there's 7 points. that's too rich for my blood, because you can easily just be stopped out just